do that one.
Okay.
Oh, see, we got a 215 on the end of your username.
Of course. Okay, let me take off my glasses.
No problem.
And actually never read it.
There we go.
Okay.
Moses can't see with or without glasses.
What about me?
You gotta get real close down.
It's like I'm Clark Kent.
Okay.
Superman.
The very first time that you log in, the system will say, do you want to change your password because it recognizes you're a new user. For right now, we can skip it since everyone's behind you, but we can do that later on. So click that one more time. Perfect. All right, can everybody see okay? This first page that we're going to land on is called the dashboard. And the dashboard, we're not necessarily going to do a lot of work on this page, but it has some links to things that we might need to get to quickly. So we're going to talk a little bit about this page, and then we'll come back to it kind of towards the end of the training. The very first thing that I want you to all get in the habit of doing, right up in the very top left, right now it says, welcome, Moses Aviles. That's good as long as you are Moses. It should always say your name up there. Okay, guys? I know that sounds silly, but as Peter was saying, one of the nice things about everyone having their own account is that we can, it's really easy to keep tabs on who did things when and where and what and everything. So you don't need to worry about typing in, you know, this is Johnny on a Monday. The system is going to know that it was Johnny who put in a package on Monday, you know, so that's easy. But make sure that it always is your name, because otherwise, you know, bad data. Right next to your name is a yellow button that says Edit Profile. If you want to go back later and change your username or your password, that's where you're going to do that. Right next to that button is an orange button that says Log Out. That's very important, guys. We have a lot of sensitive information in here. Your residents' contact information and the permissions to enter and all of that. So anytime you leave the computer, even if you're just going away for 10 minutes or so, you're always going to log out, because we don't want people to just be able to jump on it. When you log out, it'll take you right back to that page with a space for your username and password. The other button I want to point out, if we keep going across the top all the way into this corner, we have a green button that says General Help. Moses, can you click that one for me, please? Obviously, if you have any questions about how the building is run, those are going to be questions for Peter. But if you have any questions about how the website works, you can click General Help. These are all of our help files. If you feel like doing some reading, you can read through the stuff over here. It explains everything, but honestly, I know you guys are busy. Just give me a call. Our phone number is right over here. We have tech support 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. And I guarantee it's not like you're going to be on hold for 15 minutes. This number rings on about 10 phones. Somebody will pick up right away. If you're working late nights or weekends and you have some trouble, you can send us an email. The support at buildinglink.com. We do monitor that after hours. So this is always, if you have any trouble, if anything's not working right, if you just forget something, just call us up. Okay, let's close that out. Cool. The one thing that we are going to use a lot on the dashboard is a feature called the shift log. Now, one thing that I want to make sure everybody understands, Buildinglink is really based around communication, and this is going to send out a lot of automatic emails. So if we scan in a package for one of your residents, they're going to automatically get an email. You don't have to send it, it just goes out to them right automatically. You have a package at the front desk. If a work order gets closed out, resident gets an email, your work order's been finished, okay? So there's a lot of communication between your staff and who lives here. The shift log is the one place that we can keep everything totally internal. If you have any notes that should be left just for staff, anything that's like an incident report, something that Peter needs to know about, we're low on supplies, God forbid we had to call the ambulance, the cops showed up for some reason, anything along those lines, we can keep in the shift log. To get to the shift log, we're just going to click this orange tab right here. It'll always be right on the desktop. Perfect. We click on this and a little clipboard comes down, and this is where we can leave our notes to each other. Adding a note is super simple. Moses, can you click down here in the little white area? And again, this is a space to say just what's going on, what's happening in the building. So right now, hey, we're having a training session. Okay. Let's type in training.
TR.
I'm sorry. Great. Sorry. Once we type in training, Moses is going to click the green button that says Add Note. It's right there. It's pretty obvious. Now, what I want you to see, all that he typed is training, but automatically you get today at 2:44 p.m. Moses Aviles typed in training. You know, so we have all that information saved for you. Okay. Another aspect that we can do here, we can make a note high priority if something happens that we really think management needs to know about. Like I said, maybe, God forbid, one of your residents fell in the lobby. I had to call the doctor, okay? We can click on high priority right here if you want to do that for me. And yeah, let's just click down here. Let's say the EMTs were called. You can just say EMTs. EMTs called, and then let's just type test,
Okay,
just so later we'll know that that wasn't a real emergency.
Okay.
Just can you type the word test after that?
Sorry?
Just TEST.
Test?
Yeah, just so we know later that this
ain't
wasn't
a test.
a real emergency. Let's click on that. Great. When we put in a note as high priority, two things happen. First of all, it's going to show up in bold. So if somebody's scanning through those later, it's really easy to say, oh, that was the really important one. More importantly, though, we're going to have the option to search these notes later on. And if we want to, we can filter it. So maybe Peter needs to see just the high priority notes that happen in the month of July. He can filter that way. Okay? Speaking of searching, you also have the ability to search this log. What this clipboard is going to show you is the last 48 hours worth of notes. So these notes that we just put in now, we put them in on a Monday afternoon. They'll stay on the clipboard till about Wednesday afternoon. Okay? If you need to look back further than that, Moses, can you click this blue button down here that says search? One of the great things about Buildinglink is that none of the data you put in ever gets deleted. So even if we're still using this system in 20 years, you can search back to what we just put in today. Okay? The search page is pretty self-explanatory. You can search by the date that you put in the note. Here's where you can search by priority if you want to see just the high priority notes. And I really like this one. If we click right here, we can even search by who put the note in. Look, there's all of your names. So let's say we just want to find the high priority notes that Moses put in. We click search after setting our parameters, and look, there it is, the EMTs were called. Okay? You can also search by specific text. So if something happens that, again, you need to find, you need to search by just the word EMT or by the word incident report, anything like that you can search. Any questions about that?
Nope, so far.
That's easy, right? Moses, I want to show you guys one more thing. Let's click on shift log one more time. The last thing that we can do here that will help you out, it's not mandatory, but I think it's just a good idea. We have this button down here that says end of shift note. When you guys are trading off, you finished your morning shift, somebody else is coming on to relieve you, click that one for me. You'll see if we click end of shift note, it'll say you want to put a marker in, you can click OK. And what this is going to do is it just draws kind of a dark yellow line across your notes. Hey, that's the end of your shift, okay? You still need to log out. This isn't going to clock you out or anything like that. It's just so that if the next guy is looking back and say, oh, this was the morning shift. Oh, here's the evening shift.
Okay, so which means that once I log on, I have to end my shift, so I have to go to
Yeah.
end of shift. No. Okay.
Again, it's not mandatory. It's just that if somebody's looking at the shift log later, it'll be a little clearer to see. Here is one person's notes. Here's the next person's notes. Okay. Let's click close on that. But what I really want you to remember about the shift log is it's just internal. It's the one place your residents here will never be able to see that. So
That's just for us.
again, if you have any kind of incident with a resident that needs to be reported, that's the place to do it. Okay. Cool. The next thing that we're going to talk about, guys, I want you to look over here on the extreme left side. We have these kind of light blue buttons. I'm going to call those tabs for today. You see we have dashboard, manage, front desk, maintenance, communicate, etc. Since you guys are predominantly front desk employees, our training today, we're mostly going to be working in the front desk tab. So Moses, can you click that one for me, please? Cool. Within our front desk tab, we have three sections. They're called event log, instructions, and resident directory. About 95% of our training today is just going to be going through these three sections. We're not really going to be too concerned about the other tabs, okay? I like to just give you a little sense of what each one of these is going to do. Event log is basically where we can track anything physical that's coming and going. So event log is for any packages, any laundry, flower delivery, keys getting dropped off, contractors coming in and out, anything like that that's physical, that's going in and out is event log. Instructions is where we're going to track our verbal permissions to enter. So if a resident says, hey, my dog walker's coming on Tuesdays, hey, I have a maid that cleans my house every Thursday, anything like that, we can put under instructions. Okay? And finally, a resident directory is basically a way that we can find contact information for anybody that lives in the building. We're going to go through all three of those in order. I don't want you guys to be scared. The event log does take the longest. So I start with that one, we'll jump it in, knock it out, and then the other two will go really fast after that, okay? So let's start by clicking on the event log. And as I said, this is where we're tracking things that are physical. So for the purpose of this program, I want you to think of anything that's coming and going as an event. So a package gets dropped off, that's an event. Keys get taken from the desk, that's an event. Okay? So let's start with a really simple example. Let's say that one of your